Welcome to the Evolution Show. I'm Johan Landgren. I hope you're having a nice summer. I'm finally back after a longer vacation and a lot of work with my house project. But now I have a number of exciting episodes for you, and I hope you'll find them inspiring. Today will be the first episode where I share my journey from planning to construction and installation of different energy solutions for my house. Starting off with an episode about my new yellow submarine, as I call it. A huge 8,000 liter rainwater tank that just was delivered. I will cover how harvesting rainwater can cut your water use in half or even more, and save you money as well as make you more resilient for the future. I will also share why installing a weather station on a 10.5 meter high wooden pole back in November has become a goldmine of valuable data. In particular for how to make a 3 kilowatt windmill a vital part of my house project. If you like the episode and the Evolution Show, don't forget, give it a thumbs up and help me cross the magic 1000 subscribers level. I promise I have some cool changes coming up. Okay, let's get going with the yellow submarine. This is the Evolution Show. For about 10 years, I've written and researched different technologies and methods to decrease our fossil energy dependence, with different small and large-scale energy solutions, including written a Swedish book on how to go fossil-free. And since several years now, I've been planning the energy house of my dreams, that combines a large number of technologies, old and new, and if all goes according to plan, it will be built next year. The aim is to eventually be able to go totally off-grid, or at least be able to run all the essentials in my house generated by my own power. In addition to rainwater harvesting, which soon we'll look at, the house will have everything from a large battery energy system, solar panels on the roof, but also on the walls to get the power from the sun, even when the roof is covered in snow. This will be combined with a 3 kilowatt windmill. My house will have a greenhouse integrated with the house to prolong the growing season, but also serve as a cozy place where you can sit all year round and enjoy the sun. Moreover, I'm considering a pioneering on-demand controlled ventilation system to not only save energy in each room, but have a very fresh air in the house. But the house will also have low-tech that does not need power, like a root cellar for storing food from the garden, and a super efficient wood stove that can heat the house even when there is no power, and where you can cook food and bake. It will be an experiment, and I will share everything as it's being installed, and the result. And I hope it can be helpful to anybody interested in doing something similar. Now, let's get back to my giant rainwater yellow submarine tank that recently was delivered. It can store 8,000 liters or about 2,100 gallons of rainwater. It's also called a hybrid tank, and it's made in glass fiber that is supposed to last 100 years or even more. It's called a hybrid because it can be used to provide water for indoor house appliances, in my case flushing 2 toilets, and provide rainwater for a washing machine, but also as a water source for irrigation in the garden and in my greenhouse. Once the groundwork of the house is prepared, an inflow pipe will go through the house from the rainwater tank and connect inside with the active switch. The switch will then sense when there is rainwater in the tank and use it for flushing toilets and the washing machine as well, and for the garden. When there is insufficient rainwater, the regular water from the well kicks in. Once the tank gets full, an outflow from the tank sends the surplus water via the drain. This function does not require electricity. The rainwater tank itself will be dug down 3 meters into the ground next year when the groundwork for my house is being done. I will insulate the tank with sufficient soil so it won't freeze during the winter, as well as insulate both the outflow and the inflow pipes, so the rainwater tank can be used to collect meltwater during the warm winter days or early spring. I ordered this rainwater tank from the Swedish company Forever Green, that is a leading company in this field in Sweden. But they're also delivering water solutions to many other countries internationally. Okay, so how much rainwater do you need to fill an 8,000 liter yellow submarine like I have? A simple rule of thumb is that for every millimeter of rain per 1 square meter of surface, you get 1 liter of water. In my case, I will have a roof of about 200 square meters, which means that I will get 200 liters of water for every millimeter of rain. So, with 40 millimeters of rain, I will fill the 8,000 liter or about 2,100 gallon rainwater tank. Thankfully, back in November, I installed a weather station on a 10.5 meter high wooden pole in the area my house will be built. So now I know how much rain I can expect. My neighbor installed the weather station with his skylift. My weather station gave me some astounding data. July 22nd, I got almost exactly 40 meters of rain in one single day, which means I would have filled up the whole tank in one day. And during the whole month of July, I got 82 millimeters of rain. And between May 1st to August 14, I got 200 millimeters of rain. So a good advice is to install a weather station where you live before you install a rainwater tank or windmill. But for rain control, you don't need to put it up as high as I did. That is only if you need good wind data or if you're into a windmill like me. Now, how long does an 8,000 liter rainwater tank last if I use it for, say, flushing the toilets and for the washing machine? Let's say me and another person flush the toilets 10 times per day, with an average 5 liters per flush. This would take 50 liters of water per day and would give me about 160 days of flushing just using rainwater. But I also intend to use it for the washing machine. Now, a modern washing machine uses about 50 liters of water for a regular 40 degrees Celsius program. So if you use, say, a washing machine 2 times per day, this would take about 100 liters from the rainwater tank, or about 400 liters per month. So, in this case, combining flushing with washing would get me about 4 months of water, from full to empty, without refill from more rain. But I will likely be able to fill the tank several times over during the summer, so there is room for much more. So how about using rainwater for the garden? In the summertime, this is where the rainwater tank will be most useful, and with more and more local restrictions on water use, a huge rainwater reserve can be a lifesaver for your plants and your veggies. The rainwater tank I ordered have 2 separate outlets on the rainwater tank that you can use to connect directly with the hose. Opening the lid on the top of the tank, but more practically, is to have pipes directly from the active switch inside the house to a water ejector, where you can connect a hose in the greenhouse or a specific place in the garden, which I will have. Under the lid to the tank, which is locked for safety reasons, is also where there is a filter you're recommended to clean once a year. I'm sure many have questions about the technical details of this system, but if you write the questions in the comments below, I will ask them in an upcoming episode, where I will invite a real expert on this technology. So stay tuned for that. When I started the design of the house, water became a top priority. Water is life after all, and while more and more people are aware that the climate on the planet Earth is changing fast and put up solar panels to decrease their carbon footprint and save money, fresh water is increasingly becoming a scarce resource in many parts of the world. And with serious talks about power shortage in Europe and extreme prices of electricity, securing water all year round has become a priority for me. I mean, we need to start treating fresh water like the precious gold it is. Did you know that here in Sweden, where I live, we have fresh drinking water coming straight from the tap, but also flush our toilets with drinking water that is cleaner than most people have drinking water in the world? Pretty crazy, really. But even here in Sweden, with one of the most abundant freshwater supplies in the world, more and more places, including farmers, have huge problems getting enough fresh water. It is also about making sure I have water all year round, drought or not, and even when there is no electricity from the grid. This is when rainwater struck me as an obvious way to start. Now, for anybody watching this episode that think my choice of rainwater harvesting system is too advanced or simply too expensive, I totally understand that. But luckily, there are many other simple solutions which can take you a long way. Me and my family have used regular rainwater barrels in the garden, for example, to water our plants. And there are many other do-it-yourself systems you can make too. For me, this was a practical solution and something I would like to try as the tech nerd I am. It was also a good compromise for me. Instead of installing modern composting toilets that I've looked at for several years and like as well. Because with this solution I get rainwater both for the garden, for flushing the toilets and washing in one system. I'm sure you are wondering, why do I not use the tank for showering or even for fresh water to decrease my water use from the well even more? Partly it is a matter of local regulation, but also because this particular tank is not drinkwater certified. But I have an idea for the future to use a separate rainwater tank, harvesting rainwater from the pretty large roof over the garage that will connect with my house. That roof will be more than sufficient to fill a large rainwater tank to be used for drinking water and for showering or even bathing. Whether you're into rainwater solutions like this or not, I think most of us can agree that rainwater is a free resource that we should make use of much more, and that the future of housing or buildings in general must include rainwater harvesting as a natural part of its design, just as solar panels and energy storage should be. Well, that was all for today, folks. I hope you found it inspiring or a little bit crazy maybe. I'm curious what you think. Do you have any ideas about ways to save water or harvest rainwater? What do you think about my yellow submarine? Maybe you're working on other smart energy solutions for your house. Share your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to hear about them, and I'm always open to new ideas. Finally, if you like the Evolution Show, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Up next, I'll be back in the Evolution Show studio with a really cool guest, one of the leaders behind the Ocean Bird project, the world's largest sailing ship for freight. You definitely don't want to miss that. That was all for today. I hope to see you next time.